And frantic pace of these matches. Is there any way in a London derby, or a former London derby so to speak, you can control the pace of a match of sevens?
I think it's really difficult to. You've got the fast track, you've got the fans here, you've just had a bit of Neil Diamond. Everyone is genned up for what's going to be an exciting game of rugby. You want that pace to be high. That is why sevens is a world package, because it's a highlights form of the game. You see the fast men, you see the big men, you see the skilled men, all with ball in hand.
Just very briefly, I've been talking around here. They said Wasps are on a loser. They've packed their team with stars. If they win every game by 5 tries, well, that's what was expected.
It is, and that's pressure in itself. There's pressure on Elliot Daly, there's pressure on Christian Wade. We want to see that. We want to see some reaction, we want to see some emotion. They've got guys like Guy Thompson around him. They've got Alex Lazowski, key playmakers within this game, with Dan Robson championing behind. It's going to be a fantastic day.
All right, Rob, thanks very much. Let's get on with the action now. The boys are in the tunnel. It's over to Nick and Ugo.
Still lapping up here in the commentary box. Not much pre-season training for Ugo this summer, but the 69 steps up here to the commentary box, I think they've done you in, haven't they? You look in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's taken me a couple of minutes just to get my breath back. My legs are now poisoned with lactic acid, so I'm glad to be sat down commentating rather than running out there.
Opening up then with Wasps against Harlequins, and as we've been saying, a Wasps squad full of the brightest lights. In the 6 years this tournament's been running, I don't think we've had a dozen that include such star quality. You can pick out the names: Daly, Wade, Jones, Thompson, the skipper. New arrivals as well: Dan Robson and Brendan Macken, Alex Lazowski. How will he adapt to sevens? There are several good reasons they come into this as hot favourites. However, along with Saracens and Gloucester, the Quins have been a dominant force in the short history of this tournament, and 5 of the squad who won through to finals night a year ago are with us again. Skipper Joe Marchant's back, as are the 2 guesting Fijians, Alosio Yamayamo and Sentiki Nayalo. Kieran Treadwell brings along some first-team experience, as does Henry Cheeseman. Callum Waters has been winning rave reviews from the coaches in pre-season. Run, pass, collapse, repeat. The essence of sevens. Bound to see all 3 elements of the bite-sized version of the game tonight. Lots and lots of tries as well. Opening 2 rounds in Cardiff last Saturday and Kingsholm last night have given us 76 tries to enjoy so far. We ought to hit the 100 mark at some point over the next few hours.
Time off, come here. Don't kick the ball away.
Wasps in their snazzy new kit, on a snazzy new pitch as well. First rugby players to have a go on this newly laid carpet at the Rico. Coventry City's footballers have already given it a go. Hybrid, 85% grass. So all the conditions there. Big wide pitch, perfect conditions. Just a question of how long the lungs will hold up. A little bit longer than Ugo's have, hopefully.
Most definitely. Really pleased by Sam Aspelin-Robinson there. He's looked at Christian Wade, who we've all spoken about, and he's just run straight at him. He's obviously physical, and he's not afraid of actually putting it about tonight. But now he's got to switch his attention to the defensive duties, because Christian Wade with half a pitch is quite a challenge in itself.
Bind. Set.
You have to wade when you've got 14 other mates on the pitch is a handful. And containing with 7 really is going to be something. We will see how they go. This is Lazowski, and here he goes. Jet engines lit. On the way, we have liftoff.
Incredible there from Christian Wade. We've got to put it all into context as well, because Wasps are actually down to 6 men. Lazowski just steps across. Christian Wade just tries to find the weak shoulder. He finds it inside, outside. On this moment here, he knows it's good night. He just looks so balanced as a rugby player. He's so controlled. He played up here just a few months ago against Saracens, and he scored a wonderful try down the right wing. No doubt he's absolutely tearing it apart with just over a minute gone on the clock.
Rob was saying beforehand that he has had a season at the highest level of sevens, with England sevens back in the day. It's not taken long to show us just what he can do. Restart taken by Sentiki Nayalo, Fijian army man who's serving with the parachute regiment. They've not got too many ringers in this team, but a couple of the Fijians are amongst them. This is Aspelin-Robinson, England under-18 starlet, part of Tony Diprose's academy. Has so many good young players coming through into it. Henry Cheeseman, Another one of them. He's embarking on his second season. Callum Waters acting as the scrum half. And this is Nyalo. He's a big, bulky brute. He's going to take some stopping and some bringing down as well. And Quinn's enjoying some ball time.
Quinn just needs to just keep hold of the ball. It's 7 down to 6. If they can just be able to execute the right passing at the right time, or just show a little bit of individual brilliance there. Outstanding try from Joe March. I spoke about him before the game. Christian Wade just spoke about him there in attack, but it was all about Joe March in here. And unfortunately, Christian Wade just missed an attack with their big left hand of hit and spin, and the man should get out of it. Harlequins really need to dominate this area now, where it's 7 against 6, and they've done that fantastically well.
Yeah, Wasps aren't the only one with stars in their lineup. Those of you who were with us a year ago will remember the exploits of young Joe Marchant. He was still at school when he caught the eye in this tournament 12 months ago, last summer. He was the player of the round at Franklin's Gardens. He's a player of some potential.
He certainly is, you know. He went to the same school as Mike Brown at Pete Simmons, and he's kind of following his footsteps. He started so well. He is a spiky character, very, very laid back, and obviously really enjoying the captaincy tonight so far.
Talked a lot about what this first taste of the big time did for him last season. He had to wait right until the end of the season to make his Quinn senior debut because of an injury, actually, not long after the back of this tournament last summer. But it just introduced him to a different level of expectation, and he thinks that pushed him on last year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think just getting into environments like this where you can become comfortable. The Sevens really does test all of your skills now, as Wasps has tested Harlequins. Just your passing, your decision making, and just getting the right spot. And Christian Wade, he's
oh my goodness. Well, Sam Aspland-Robinson emptied his current account to get across there, but he was still left in debt, and goodness me, he's got 2 already.
Do you know what? And it's no shame. Christian's done that for fun for the last few seasons, and it's a tough school for players like Sam Aspland-Robinson to learn their trade. But Christian Wade, he's a well-established winger. He loves that space, and he just backs himself. Ball in the right hand, gets his head down. He's looking incredibly fit. We spoke about it all of last night. It's not about being able to do it once, but do it time and time again. Sevens is all about repeated efforts, effort upon effort, and Christian Wade, 4 minutes 45 on the clock, has already managed to bag 2.
I know Stuart Lancaster and England have got lots of options, but as we watch the likes of Christian Wade and Elliot Daly tonight, I think we brought home to lots of England fans just how good those options are, that Wade and Daly, Wade didn't even make the initial cut, didn't make the squad, and then Daly was one of those who went after the first cut. By Aspland-Robinson and neatly away, and the charge for the line. Treadwell, not quite the petrol in the tank or the acceleration to get there, but Waters might. It's great clearing out work from Cheeseman. We talk a lot about the running into open spaces, but you've still got to do the spade work, and Cheeseman's hard work created the try in the end for Marchant off a delicious kick. That was wonderful teamwork from Quins.
It really is. Tonight, that's been the most complete try. What Harlequins are doing is spreading Wasps. I mean, this is great vision here, but what they've done is they've kept hold of the ball. It tires out defence. It's harder to play without the ball than it is to have the ball. And a wonderfully executed crossfield kick. Joe Marchant out there, the recipient, but a lot of the work came 45 seconds before. Kieran Treadwell, the only thing he feared was the fact he was 50 metres away from that try line, and Kurt was desperate to hit the ground. He managed to do that. The boys recycled the ball, and great execution to score a second try.
It's a wonderful conversion as well. The drop goal conversion, I dare say there'll be 1 or 2 of you watching Sevens for the first time this evening. Each half 7 minutes long, and the drop goal conversion rather than the rigmarole of bringing on the plastic kicking tee. Just the only 2 differences really to the 15-a-side game. That, of course, and the fact that there are fewer blokes on the pitch. Picked up by Lazowski, whose dad Rob is here to watch him this evening. Fly half who really started to catch the eye last season with some dazzling displays, backing up Andy Good. And the run from Brandon Macken. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice, and that's a little hint of what Wasps fans can look forward to next season. Bags of experience with Leinster in the Pro 12. Now he's setting his sights on the Premiership. Well, a little hint of what Brendan Macken's got in his locker.
Well, this is exactly what happens when you're able to spread the field. You just leave so many gaps to allow your steppers just to be able to exploit that, and this is exactly what happens here. It's brilliant to see so many players really back themselves. It's been a top quality game, a great way to kick it off at the Rico tonight.
Brendan Macken's never played sevens before. He was bouncing around like a little kid at Christmas in training this week, apparently. So looking forward to moments like this.
But he's got a massive smile on his face before we've even scored. He'll be warming to the supporters' hearts incredibly quickly if he's going to continue to put performances like that. But I have to say, so competitive in the first half so far.
Well, we can have a chat with Rob Vickerman, who's down pitch side, while we try and eavesdrop as well on what Matt Davis, the academy manager, is saying. We're being a little bit cautious with our microphones because you'll know that tired rugby players and microphones not always the perfect combination for the cleanest of language, but we'll have a chat with Rob. Rob, I'm giving you the job of defending Christian Wade in a sevens sense. How do you set up against him?
Yeah, Christian definitely one of these players that is far better with ball in hand, just showing slight bits of defensive frailty there, but both teams absolutely coming at this game. One thing that's really important in the game of sevens is how you get the ball. Quite often we've seen here, both in Harlequins and in Wasps, when they've got it, they're outstanding with the ball. The question is, how do you get it? Restarts become all important in this game, as do breakdowns. Got to make sure you keep the ball, or from restarts, try and get the ball.
One of the fascinating features of it that it's all under the microscope, Hugo, and the clear out at the numbers that you take in, even more critical in this version than perhaps in the 15-a-side version.
Yeah, of course, you're so much more exposed, so every element of the game needs to be executed perfectly there. Like you see, Wasps and Rob just spoke about the restarts. Gaining that ball possession really is king here.
Hustling from Thomas Young,
Hands past the ball.
the boss's offspring.
Hands past the ball.
He's a turbocharged dumper truck in the back row last season. Quins who've more than stood up to the challenge in that first 7 minutes, and they're giving it a blast here with Robbie Nairn, a new face, new academy recruit, Scotland under-20 debut against New Zealand, but he tried and failed to take on Mr. Wheels.
Leon.
Yeah, he's a big old unit. I have to say that it's a massive opportunity for these young guys, and they're having a go, and that's all you expect them to do.
This is Daly. He might have been in Paris this weekend. As we were saying, an early victim as England's act started to swing. Try scorer just before the break. This is Macken. He's got an eye for the line and he slides in, but was he held up?
Goodbye.
Joe Marchant underneath him. That's great defensive work, Hugo.
Brilliant bit of work. I mean, Rob alluded to it at half-time. It's working both sides of the ball. Both teams have looked so dangerous in attack, but Joe Marchant, once again, stepping up as captain. I mean, this is a fantastic tackle. He gets underneath and rolls him on his back. In fact, well, Joe Marchant, some of his history, I don't know if anyone knows this, but he's actually a black belt in judo and karate, and he shows some of those martial arts skills there, being able to hold the player up.
Stand up, fellas.
Boiled down version of the scrum.
Both of you, higher, please, yeah. Just what there, off the mark.
You can hear how tiring it is on the referee's microphone. They are serious gasps.
Shock it collapsed as well, but there we are. Some things don't change.
Lazowski. This is Daly, and this is Wade, and this is Goodnight Vienna.
It's a simple game when you're that fast. I have to say, Christian, he does look so calm. He looks really fit. He's obviously disappointed not being involved in the World Cup. The Olympics on the horizon from next year. Players like him will be absolutely brilliant. If you've got bags of pace and composure and experience like what Christian possesses, then hey, you've got every chance of doing well. Robbie Nairn having to learn another tough way there. And that is a 11th hat-trick in Premiership Sevens. I mean, we have been blessed with loads of tries, and Christian Wade, there we are, hat-trick after 9 minutes. Congratulations, mate.
If Steph Reynolds has scored 18 tries over the course of about 10 years of these sevens, Christian Wade might overtake him in one evening. It's just outrageous.
There's every chance of that. However, I think he's just been substituted. He scored his hat-trick, he's had his enough.
It's the 899th try in the history of these Premiership Sevens. It's not a lengthy history, just the 5 years so far, 2010, but we're on the brink of a mildly significant landmark for those who like your statistics. Next try is the 900th. Won't be Wade scoring it. He's gone back to the garage for a breather.
Safely, good. Backwards.
Rangers need to find a bit of shape there. They're on a bit of a one-man band mission at the moment. They need to get the ball wide, spread the field, and then exploit the mismatches. Just here. Was actually not operating with a sweeping behind, which a lot of people do. I remember Simon Aim was one of the best sweepers in the world. He'd read the game so well. Open up opportunity, but Shockey turns up. Elliot Daly working hard in defence there.
Ball picked up under some pressure by 9. It was some chase from Josh Bassett, but Nairn managed to find Marchant. How many metres has Marchant covered in the last 30 seconds? Just imagine that in your own mind and where his heart rate might be right now. But he got back to help out Nairn and to help out his team.
Players starting to look a little bit tired now, and you can see the skill set just dropping there. It's tough enough going from 15s to 7s.
Oh, Dan Robson. Oh, he's getting the score. That was a thing of beauty. In the boiled down version of the game, Dan Robson's come up with a diamond.
Incredible bit of composure. We spoke about it throughout the game. Guys like Christian Wade have so much pace, but there's nothing to be said for just being able to stand players up and make people look stupid there. But there's step there, acceleration, and he just uses players as a foul here. Steps round, gets onto the outside, realises going into touch, dumps it on his toe, composes you like, waits for it to pop up at a perfect point. Happy days, under the post. You've got to think it's probably a good night for Harlequins now.
Not a great deal for old Yamayamo could do about that. He was winning this thing 12 months ago with Gloucester. He's really settled in nicely at the Acton training ground as well. I think he may well be one of the signings of the summer. He's going to have a big impact at this club, vying with Joe Simpson for the shirt next season. Taken by Daly. Out of the back of the hand, but that's been lost forward. 4 years since Wasps made their only trip to finals night. 4 years since they last won a match. They've lost their last 11 games. They're going to end that run in fairly impressive fashion here. Quins reached the finals night 12 months ago, as they nearly always do. They won't be too rattled by this first defeat. They've still got the matches against Saracens and Northampton to come, and they will be desperate to be at their own party next Friday night. Finals night at the Stoop.
Of course, just like Wasps, they've actually got a bit of advantage where they don't have to actually back up any games, a game after another game. They do get the break, so they've got the luck of the draw tonight. They're going to have to use that as well as their squad to make the to maximise everything they can do tonight.
Queen's next match against Saracens. Our next match, Saracens against Northampton. Just a few minutes away now.
Tackle! No, no! Well done.
He's still working hard. Starting to suck up rust at the bottom of the barrel, though they are bound to be. But this is Archie White, and it's taken on by Gabriel Ibatoye, who has got some extravagant feet on him. He's not been given the opportunity to show us exactly what he can do just yet. Lazowski brings it away. This is another of Wasps' new men, Alex Reeder. First time for him in a Wasp shirt. One of the best players in the Championship last season with Rotherham, back rower. Wasps just happy to play out time, stretch the fabric, see where it might take them. This is Connor Dolan, senior debut for him in a Wasp shirt as well. The nights that the likes of Connor Dolan will remember forever. Dan Robson giving it another blast. It's floated hopefully towards Josh Bassett. Wasps have it back. A fair amount of kicking, unusually in this match for Sevens, but it's going to lead to another try, and Bassett gets it, and Wasps will finish with half a dozen.
I have to say, and he's so deserving of that. About 5 minutes ago, he sprinted 60 metres for what we would call selfless play, just to try and put Harlequins under pressure, and he's reaped the rewards. Fantastic from him, just working through the midfield, getting the bounce of the ball, hacking through again, and getting under the sticks. A really, really good result there from Wasps.
The message this week from Wasps is that they don't want to rely on their star names, Hugo. Everyone's determined to work hard on the system that Coach Matt Davis has put in place, to graft harder than anyone else, to win their 3 games, of course, but to come away from this evening without people being able to say you only won it because of your big names. You've worked as hard as anybody else, and in that match they did, and they scored 40 and won 40-14.
Yeah, they played fantastically well today. The likes of Dan Robson. We spoke so much about Christian Wade, Elliot Daly before the game, but his other guys actually grafting, allowing those players opportunities to be able to exploit that.